So we were discussing about the concept of user management, where we have seen like how to create a users and what is the difference between user and role and what are the different attributes while creating a user, and we have also seen a database level privileges and schema level privileges, right? So today we will be discussing about the object level privileges. Okay, so when I say an object level privilege, it can be, okay, we will be discussing about the object level privileges. Okay. So when I say an object level privilege, object can be a table, sequence, view, function or procedure, and trigger. Okay, so we will be discussing about the what are the different level of privileges that we have, and we will be also discussing it how to grant the privileges, and like how to see which user having, how to see like which user is having what kind of privileges on a particular object. Okay, now let's see. So table level privileges. Okay, now let's see about the table level privileges. Okay, let's see about the table level privileges. In the table level privileges, what are the different privileges that we have? We will be having insert, update, delete, truncate, select, and so we will also be having a privilege called trigger. Trigger will be used for creating the triggers on a table. Okay, so now to understand more on this privilege concept, what I'm trying to do, right? Just I'm trying to create a user u1. So let me check what are all the users that we have in our current Postgres system. So what is the command to check that? /du. Okay, so what are the database that we have? /l. Okay, let me connect to the database called rman /c rman. So now, okay, now like how to check the schema level privileges /dn plus. Okay, how to check the schema level privileges /dn plus for app, right? There is a schema called app. Who is the owner? db_test is the owner. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to log in. Okay, I'm trying to log in to this instance as a db_test user in the another session. Okay, let me do that. So now let me log in as a db_test user, psql-u db_test and -d Postgres. Okay, I logged in as a db_test user like /c. Let me connect to the database rman. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do, right? So to replicate the privilege concept, so what is the user through which I have logged in? Through the user which I have logged in as a db_test user, and I logged into a database called rman. I logged into a database called rman. In the rman database, what are the different schemas we have? We have a public schema, we have app schema, we have db_test schema. Now what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to create, okay, I'm trying to create a table called, create a table called, okay, training. I am trying to create a table called training in this schema. So through which user you logged in? db_test. Okay, so when you create a table by logging in as a db_test, who will be the owner of the table? db_test will be the owner of the table. Now create table. Okay, create table. So I wanted to create a table in the app schema. So app.db_training, app.db_training n space numeric. Create table app.db_training n space numeric. Okay, let me insert some values. Insert into app.db_training values. I have inserted a value called 1. Okay, I have inserted a value called 1. Now let me see this in. So the table name is, sorry, db underscore training, right? So now I will be creating a one more use. I have a another user called what. So what are the different users that we have in our system? So let me check. Slash du will give you the list of users, right? So now I have a user called, so now I have a user called u3. I wanted to log in it as a, I wanted to log into the database as a u3 user, and I will try to what, I will try to select the query data from the newly created table. Okay, now I am logging in as a u3 user. I am logging in as a u3 user to the rman database. I am logging in as u3 user rman database, and I am trying to do a select. Okay, I am trying to do a select operation. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so let me log in. So clear. So psql hyphen u u3 hyphen d rman. Okay, I logged in. So slash dn. So what is the table name? Select star from app.db underscore training. App.db underscore training. Am I able to get that? Am I able to, get the data? I am not able to get the data because you logged in as a u3 user, which doesn't have privileges on a table. How to check that? There is a command called slash dp plus. Okay, slash dp plus is a command which is used to get the privileges. Okay, slash dp plus. Okay, slash dp plus is a command to check the privileges. So now we will check slash dp plus schema name dot table name. What is the schema name? The schema name is app. Here we can't check because here it is a u3 user. You need to check it as a super user or owner of the table. Okay, now what I'll do, right? Slash dp plus app dot, okay, app dot db underscore training. See, it doesn't have any privilege. Through which user you connected as a Postgres user, Postgres which is a super user, and when you are trying to check, you are getting nothing. Okay, now what I'm trying to do, grant select on table app dot db underscore training, grant select on table app dot db underscore, grant select on table app dot db underscore training to whom we need to give u3. Okay, now let's see. Slash dp plus okay, slash dp plus app dot db underscore training. Okay, see, now the user u3. Okay, now user u3 is granted with a privilege called select. Okay, now user u3 is granted with a privilege called select. Okay, so now the u3 must be able to select the data. Select star from app.db underscore training. See, he's able to. Now try to insert the data. So through which user you are trying to insert the data? Through which user you are trying to insert the data? You are trying to insert the data as a u3 user. Let's try insert into app.db underscore training, and now let's try to insert the data. Values 1, values 2. See, permission named for table db underscore training. Now let's check. Okay, now let's check slash dp plus app dot db underscore training. See, the user u3 is having only which type of access? He is having only select access. That is the reason why he is not able to insert the data. Now what we are going to do? We are going to give a insert. Okay, we are going to give a insert privilege on the app and the db underscore training table, which is available in the app schema. Now what we will do? Grant insert on app.db underscore training, grant insert on table. Okay, grant insert on table app.db underscore training. 1 minute. app.db underscore training to whom? u3. I have granted. Now let's check the privilege /dp plus app.db underscore training. See, up A which means insert. Now let's try to insert the data using u3. Okay, now let's try to insert the data using u3. Okay, let me rename this u3 user. Okay, now let me try to insert the data using u3. Okay, now insert into app.db underscore training values 3. Okay, the data has been inserted. Okay, now let me try to delete the data from the table. Delete from, I am in which tab? You need to select u3 user. I logged in as a u3 user here. Delete from app.db underscore training. Delete from app.db underscore training. Will you be able to delete the data? No. Why? Because the user u3 doesn't have which privilege? Delete privilege. Now let me grant the delete privilege on the table. Grant delete on table app.db underscore training. Okay, app.db underscore training to u3. I have granted. Now let's check the privilege /dp plus app.db underscore ing. Okay, see, small d which means delete. Now let's try to delete the data. Delete from app.db underscore train ing. See, the rows has been deleted. Okay, with this knowledge, so what is the privilege identifier for select? The privilege identifier select is small r, the privilege identifier the insert is a, and the privilege identifier for the delete is small d. Okay, you got it till is here, right? Now let's see an update operation. Okay, before performing the update operation, I'll try to insert some data. Okay, insert into app.db underscore training values 3. So I have inserted a value. Now again I am the same u3 user. If you see, you are now connected to a database called rman as a user called u3. Now let me try to update. Okay, how can I do update? Okay, app.db underscore training app.db underscore training train ing. Let me check what is the column name. N. Okay, update app.db underscore training set n equal to 1 where n equal to 3. So I haven't set a value 3. Now I am trying to update this as a 1. Okay, now let's check. So what is the error that you are getting? You are getting a permission denied for a table db underscore training. Now let me check. So if you see, the user u3 is having only select privilege, insert privilege and delete privilege, and whenever you are trying to update, what is the error that you are getting? You are getting a permission denied. Now let me check. Let me insert. Okay, grant update on table app.db underscore training. Okay, grant update on table app.db underscore training to whom I need to give. I wanted to give it to u3. Now let's check the privileges /dp plus app.db underscore training. If you see, there is a small w, which means that we have given which privilege? Update privilege. Now let's try to perform an update operation through u3 user. Okay, so now let me copy this and try executing it from the u3 user console. Now do that, you are able to do what? You are able to update the operation. Just give me a minute. Okay, so now we have given which privilege? The update privilege. When you give the update privilege, the user must be able to update. So what is the privilege identifier for the update? The privilege identifier for the update is W. The privilege identifier for the update is W. So now the next set of statements, we are done with the insert, we are done with the insert, we are done with the select, we are done with the update, and we are done with the delete. Okay, anyway, trigger, this is not done by us because I can't replicate the scenario here. And if user is not able to create the trigger, just we will give a grant create trigger on table name to this username. And okay, this is not enough. There is no way to, I mean, like, I don't have an environment to check set, I mean, like, explain this anyway. Now the last operation is truncate. So truncate is represented with capital D. Now let's see. Now let me log into the U3 console again, U3 user console again, and let me try to perform the which operation? Let me try to perform the truncate operation. Truncate table. So what is the command? Truncate table app.db underscore training, app.db underscore training. So permission denied for table. So why it is getting a permission denied for the table? Why we are getting a permission denied for the table is user U3 doesn't have a truncate privilege. Now let me grant the truncate on table to grant truncate on table. Grant truncate on table app.db underscore training. Grant truncate on table grant truncate on table app.db underscore training to, I'm giving it to U3. So let me grant this now /dp plus app.db underscore training. So see, now we got a capital D, which means the user U3 got the truncate privilege. Now let's see whether we are able to truncate the table through U3 or not. Okay, truncate table app.db underscore training. Okay, I'm able to truncate. Now let me insert again. Okay, insert into app.db underscore training. I'm trying to insert some values again. I'm trying to insert some values again to explain some other scenarios, like, you know, there are 1 minute. Just I'm inserting some array. Just I'm trying to insert some data to replicate the scenarios. Okay, 1, 2, and let me select the data /select star from app.db underscore training. Okay, so now you got, like, I have a data. Now to understand more on this table level privileges, okay, to understand more on this table level privileges, what we are going to see, right? So what is the current environment we have? We have a database called rman. Rman is a database under which we have 3 schemas. One is app schema, second one is db underscore test schema, and third one is public schema. Okay, third one is under the app schema. I have a table called db underscore training. Okay, I have a table called db underscore training. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create a new user called U4. Who is the owner of the db underscore training? The owner of the db underscore training is db underscore test user. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create a U4 user, and I will try to access this table. So now we will be seeing what are the list of all the privileges that user U4 should have to get okay, to get access to the db underscore training table which is available in the app schema of the rman database. Now let's proceed with the steps one by one. Okay, so to create user you must be a super user or you should have a privilege to create the role. So this is a super user session. Let me rename it for your convenience. Okay, it is a it is a super user session. Okay, now let me create a user. Okay, while creating a user you can be in any of the database, because users in Postgres is what, a cluster level objects are an instance level object. Now let me create user, create user u4, create user u4 with password, create user u4 with password test123. Okay, I have created a user. Now let me try to do one thing. Okay, now let me try to log in as a u4 user. Okay, now let me try to log in as a u4 user. Okay, let me disconnect from here. Now I am trying to log in as which user? I am trying to log in as a I'm trying to log in as a u4 user. We have two sessions here. One is a super user session and second one is a u4 is a normal user. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to log in as a u4 user. How to do that? PSQL -u u4, and which database you wanted to log in? -p 5432. So sometimes I'm not giving you the port number, because if you don't specify the port number, the system tries to logging in using a default port for the Postgres. What is the default port? The default port for the Postgres system is a 5432. That is the reason why sometimes I mention like port number, sometimes I may not mention, but it always, when you don't mention the port number, it always tries to connect to a default port which is 5432. So now I am trying to logging into the system, so using a user u4 and the database called rman. What is the error that you will get? The error that you will get is user doesn't have a privileges on database rman. So what is the privilege that we need to give grant first? First you need to grant connect on database, grant connect on database. Okay, grant connect on database. Which database we need to give? rman to u4. Okay, the first user should have what? First of all the user should have connect on privilege on the database. Okay, you need to drill down. Okay, first you need to have connect on privilege on the rman database. Then what is the privilege that you need to have? Then user should have usage privilege on the schema app. The user should have usage privilege on the schema app. Then user u4 should have rest of the privileges in the table. Rest of the privilege means insert, update, delete, truncate, insert, update, delete, truncate, comma, select. These are the, so the what is the database level privilege user should have? Connect. And what is the schema level privilege that user should have? Usage. And what is the privilege that user should have on the table level? Insert, update, delete, truncate, depending upon the requirement. Okay, depending upon the requirement. Now what I'm trying to do, right? So there is a instead of specifying all these privileges one by one in Postgres, we can grant all privileges in a single command by select grant all on table, app dot db underscore training. Okay, grant all on table app dot db underscore training to user what? u4. Okay, when I say all, which means it refers to insert, update, delete, truncate, select and trigger. When I say all the privileges will be granted at the same time. What does it mean by all the privileges? Insert, update, delete, truncate, select and trigger. All these privileges together will be granted to a user called u4 by using a grant all on table statement. Now let me do this. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, I'm in a super user session, so grant all on table app.db underscore training, grant all on table app.db underscore training to u4. Now let's app dot sorry grant the table name is wrong here. Okay, grant all on table app.db underscore training to user u4. Now let me give you slash dp plus insert. See, user u4 got insert, update, delete, truncate, and there is an extra privilege which is called references. Okay, small x refers to references. What does it mean by references? References is used for creating a foreign key constraints. Okay, references. Okay, references is used for creating a foreign table on the foreign keys on the table. Okay, so instead of providing the privilege one by one, we have granted all together with a single command. Now let me try to log in and now do select star from app.db underscore training. Am I able to do this? No. Why I am not able to do this? Because the user u4 has privilege on the rman database to connect, and the user u4 is having all the privileges on the table db underscore training. But if you remember, when we were discussing about the schema level privileges, we have also discussed that it is mandatory for the user to have a usage privilege on the schema to access the objects that are available in the particular schema. So having a access on the table is not enough. User should have usage privilege on the schema in which the user is trying to access the table. So now let me grant the usage privilege. Okay, on the schema, grant usage on schema. Okay, grant usage on schema what? App to u4. I have granted a privilege. Now let me try to re-execute the same command. Select star from app.db underscore training. See, now you are able to see the data. Now you are able to delete the data. Now you are able to update the data or truncate the data. Truncate table app.db underscore training. Okay, I am able to do everything because I have granted all the privileges in a single shot. Okay, with the help of a single command, I gave all the privileges. Okay, this is how we can manage the privilege at a table level. Okay, so now what is the next database level objects we have? We have functions. We have functions and procedures and sequences. Okay, so for the functions and procedures we should give execute privilege. Okay, this more we will be seeing it in the next session. Okay, for the functions and procedures, if you want to execute, you need to provide the execute privilege to a particular user, because I can't explain this because I don't have any function handy, and as a DBA even I don't know how to create the function basics of, I don't have the understanding of developers role. Okay, so for the functions and procedures, user should have execute privilege to execute the functions. For the sequence, user should have usage privilege and the sequence. Okay, in the next session what we are going to see, right? We are going to see, so we have a command. Okay, we have a command like /dp plus to check the /dp plus to check the privileges at a table level, and in the next session we will be seeing what is the commands to check the function and procedure level privileges and as well as sequence level privileges. Okay, and one more thing is we are also there is a lot more to discuss about the privileges in the Postgres management. Those things we will be discussing it in the next session as well as, and there is one more topic left in the user management, is the concept of inheritance No inheritance. So this is also we are going to discuss. Okay, everything will be covered in the upcoming sessions. Once everything is done, we will be proceeding with the next topics called a backup and restore. Okay, that's it for today, and thank you so much.